One of my fortes, areas of specialisation, is pulling together investor advisory boards. Been doing this for well over a decade, and I would be, I believe, one of the absolute leaders and pioneers in this sector. I originally started out with the Australian Small Scale Offering Board, which was Australia's only, at that time, only listed board where early stage businesses could effectively raise capital. And you would have ASOB sponsors who would get behind various businesses and really sort of pull the capital together on a board, and it would give investors an opportunity to have a secondary market to release their capital in the business sector. And ASOB was incredibly successful. It was an absolute pioneer. I don't think anything has quite come close to the original business model that was set up, and it was it really got a lot of early stage businesses off the ground here in Australia and got them funded. Now, I was an ASOB sponsor, and I also worked with other ASOB sponsors to pull together investor advisory boards. Now, up until this point, that concept hadn't been that widely used. We had angel investors in Australia, but it wasn't really being tapped into so formally. And I really believe, if we want to get early stage, high potential businesses off the ground, you've got to bring together the marriage of smart capital, but also, matching that up with the right businesses, the right business entrepreneurs, and really bringing the talent to the table. And so, there's a lot of very successful business executives, corporate executives who have been chief executives, have made many, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and they'd like to give back in the, business community. They'd like to help an early stage, high potential company go on to great success. And so there's a huge talent pool that would like to serve as an investor director or an investor advisory board member. They'd like to put some capital into the business. They'd like to serve on the board, keep an eye on their investment, but help guide the business and take it forward. So if you're an entrepreneur and you are looking for smart capital, and particularly if you're trying to look for that sub 1 million amount, that is the perfect scenario. If you've got a great business concept, you've got some really good ideas, you've got some proof of life, you've got something developed, and you want to put the A team around you, so people who can connect you in with the right technology partners, open doors, find bigger amounts of capital for you in the future, can help you, really get that business model right, help you with your, information memorandums, your pitch decks, all of those sorts of things. You will find executives who would be willing to come and sit alongside that business, serve on the advisory board, and also put in some capital to help that business go forward. Now, I'm not talking massive amounts of capital. We typically find that the average investment in this space is between 50 and 100,000. And, that's often really critical funding. If you can get 4 or 5 people who put in 100,000 each, that's $500,000. That can get you, a beta IT platform developed. That can get you, sort of to a point that you can get in front of the private equity and venture capital firms. This is the seed funding. This is the money you kind of gather, the capital you gather before you go and knock on the big doors around town. And it gives the private equity firms a little bit of confidence because you've got some good people around the business. You've got some talent, you've got people who can open doors, you've got people who can keep an eye on the investment, and it gives, there's some proof of life, there's been some success in managing that money. You'd be surprised how many entrepreneurs are not good when you give them $3 million. They just don't know how to manage those funds carefully. And this is why a lot of people have got burnt and upset in the sector, because, the money just goes out the door on all the wrong things. And so having that advisory board showing that you can manage small amounts of money can give people confidence to give you large amounts of money to take your business idea forward. So I am a real specialist in this sector. I have a lot of talent on my books that would like to serve in this sector. I have the ability to match be a matchmaker, bring the capital, smart capital to the table. I only do this sort of work if it is smart capital, true smart capital. I'm not interested in pure capital raising. There's plenty of other people in the market who can do that. I'm really focused on bringing the talent to the table, the people who can, open the doors, and combining that with the smart capital that the entrepreneur may need to get to the Series A or the Series B capital raising. Give me a call. I'd love to have a chat with you. Have a look at your pitch deck or your information memorandum. I'll give you some strategic advice, and I'll give you an analysis as to whether we can assist with connecting you in with investors in our business network.